In reading the racial identity development theory in module 2, I identified with the Black American race identity by William Cross. He lists 5 phases that we go through: pre-encounter, encounter, immersion, internalization, and internalization commitment. Um, informed my racial identity. I don't remember a time that I wasn't black. I grew up with my great grandparents that were born in the 1900s, my grandmother in the 30s, and my dad in the 50s. And even though that I'm mixed race, I identify more as black because that's who I grew up with, and that's who I mostly look like. I identify with them. So because they were born in blatant Jim Crow racist laws, it was passed down to us of how where we go, how we go. We were always self-aware that we were black, but when I learned of my blackness for myself, it was in 1991 when a girl named Latasha Harlins got killed in South Central LA. We were the same age, and for some reason, that that situation resonated with me. It was just like, oh, they really hate us. And even though it was a Korean, they, for us, or I would say for our family, they are white. If you're not black, then everybody else is white. It's an ignorant way of thinking, but that's how we processed it. Um, One experience that I can share with you with internal dealing with internal racism is it's in the healthcare system. I was 25 having my first child. I watched all these videos about having a baby, so I had this romanticized expectation of how it was going to be when I get to the hospital, and it was absolutely horrific, horrible, the worst experience ever. Most people think that racism is always just like calling you the N word or just being burning crosses in front of your house. Nobody ever processed the sarcastic comments, and I call them slick, like, but they'll do it in like a casual conversation as if you're not smart enough to catch on. So I had this nurse. Um, I came in nervous, scared, your first child. And I was quiet. I'm just trying to process, like, oh, wow, I'm about to really become a mom. Oh, no. You know, so she goes, oh, why are you acting like this is your first child? What you mean, what? I was like, excuse me? This is my first child. Oh. And so she goes on and she's making other little comments, but I'm in labor, so I'm picking up and I'm going out, but I'm picking up. But what I'm picking up on is just like, wow. So then her next statement that I do remember, and she goes, "Oh, if you're having a boy and you're planning to have him circumcised, Medi-Cal doesn't pay for that." Oh, okay. Okay, so and I'm like, okay, so why are you telling me about Medi-Cal? I don't have Medi-Cal. I have health benefits through my job. Her next comment, oh, so you work? What you mean? Oh, yeah. So I don't want to. I'm like, what do you mean? Do I work? So now I had to pull out the educated side of Patricia and in labor and in pain, but here I go. Can I please speak to your charge nurse? Shock on her face. Oh, the charge nurse. Yes, ma'am. I need the charge nurse. The charge nurse come in. I have to use the buzzwords to let them know that I'm just not no ignorant black woman sitting in the hospital. I know my rights. Uh, I don't feel safe with her. I feel unsafe. She's making comments that's making me uncomfortable. I don't think she has the best interest for me or my child. I do not want her near me, nor my child. I feel threatened. All this type of stuff. My aunt is a RN and my mom worked in human resources for a hospital. So I do know some things. Okay, so all that exchanged, and I got a new nurse, but it didn't make it any better. Now I'm like, I have to push. And she, oh no, you don't have to push. Yeah, it hasn't been 24 hours. As if I don't know what's going on with my body. So she left me in there crowning with my kid, and then she go, "Oh, well, let me check. I'm fully dilated, and my baby is coming." And they rushing to find the doctor, and I'm just so like taken back by that. It was just a horrible experience, and it does happen, and you will hear more stories about Black women and healthcare. So I found this article. It's called Understanding and Addressing Racial Disparities in Healthcare by David Williams and Tony Rucker in the Healthcare Finance Review 2000 issue. And it, to sum it all up, is basically saying that we need to speak up, uh, report these actions so that they can collect the data and identify the problem and eradicate racism through it. So would I have done anything differently? Absolutely. I would have went farther than the charge nurse. I would have went and made an official report on her, because I'm pretty sure, as comfortable as she was to say these things to me, she's said it before and nobody has ever called out on her about that. So with the critical race uh, theory, how would I use that to apply to this situation? Well, since critical race theory is about legality, it would definitely have been reported. So, and taking legal actions. Not that I wanted any money, but if you're going to be in healthcare, you're going to deal with different types of people. And you ruined the whole experience for me. I cried the whole 2 days I had to stay there because I was scared of the nurses. Um, so I would have been in my young adulthood with that stage. Uh, would I respond differently to this situation, knowing what I know? Like I said before, that yeah, I would have responded with more of a legal action. I would have been more more proactive in in having her identified. And that's what I learned with the critical race theory, and that's one experience that I had. I'm 47 now, and I've been through a few, no, quite a few, uh, institutional racism situations, but I shared that one with you guys because healthcare and mental health for Black women is rarely spoken about, and the treatment that we get. So thank you guys for listening, and have a nice day.